So you guys did it again. Yesterday I was just at 400 subs and now I'm already at 526 subs. And since you guys have been so supportive and got me past 500 subs, I got something really special for you guys in this video. So today I actually got to test a new Naruto game, and it's being developed by none other than Awoken Studios. The same developers that made Xeno Online, Era of Althea, and Nindo Gated. Now before I start showing you guys some gameplay, and it'll only be for Awoken Studio patrons. So what this means is you can't get in the game unless you support them by joining the Patreon. Now this doesn't mean that it'll be like that forever, but for right now, that's how it's going to be. And ultimately it's up to Ty on what he wants to do with this game. So pretty much to get in the game, all you have to do is pay $2. And it would help develop the game a lot quicker, and there would also be more stuff added into the game if more people support them. Alright, so right now we could take a quick look at the GUI. We got a thirst bar, hunger bar, chakra, health, and then on the bottom the green bar is the stamina bar. And then as you guys saw, you guys can drop any item and give it to anyone that you want. So I actually had Vyro showing me how to play the game. He dropped me a pickaxe and a hatchet. And before we get further into the video, let me just say that this game is still in early development, so not everything is completed. That's why you still see the base plates and our faces aren't completed as well. We just got the normal Roblox faces. So it's still in the early stages right now, but from what I got to see when I was playing the game, the base of the game is already there. It's just a matter of adding more things into the game. Alright, so this is already one thing that separates this game from every other Naruto game. There's a whole crafting system in this game, and you actually have to go out and collect your own materials. And we'll take a quick look at the menu. So you got the inventory, stats, clan, and then build. We'll get into the build later, but for right now in the inventory, you can stack the same items so that you save slots in your inventory so it's not taking up all your space. Alright, and then me and Vyro were heading to the training grounds. And then me and him ended up getting lost because it got dark and we didn't have any torches. So already you can see that crafting is a big part of this game, which in my opinion I think is really cool because you always have to be prepared when you go anywhere. It keeps the game interesting and it separates itself from other games where it's the same 2 missions over and over again. It really adds like a survival aspect to the game as well. And in the end, it turns out we were right next to the training grounds already. We just had to walk further down and head off the cliff. So one of the things I noticed right off the bat is your thirst bar probably drains the fastest out of any bars just because it drains when your stamina drops. And you're always using your stamina, so you're also going to have to keep a lot of water on you to stay hydrated, because you will get dehydrated in this game. Now as of right now, I don't know what happens when you get dehydrated, but I'm pretty sure it's not anything good. And now this man Ty, apparently he poisoned the whole village by giving them poison water. He claims it was on accident, but I'm guessing it really wasn't. At the end of the day, all the testers are pretty much Ty's guinea pigs anyways. So to elaborate a little bit more on how Ty poisoned people with water, cells come into play with that. So you're actually doing science in Roblox. Now you probably think that's hard, but in all honesty, once you get it down, it'll be fairly easy for you. It's just trial and error. And from what Vyro says right here, there are 5 different cell types. And he gives me a hint on one of them, which is the H cell. That impacts your regen. And then Ty comes up to me and takes a blood sample. He honestly caught me lacking. Now I'm still new to the game, so I don't know what blood samples are, but I'm pretty sure that's not good for me for Ty to have my blood. And then the other thing that really amazed me is that this guy's a genius. He added a whole system for cells to make the game a little bit different. And we also have our own immune system. So what that means is we probably could build up our tolerance to poisons, and then we wouldn't get poisoned, or at least the poison wouldn't affect us as much. Now that's what I'm assuming. Ty is pretty smart in this regard, and that sounds like something he would add in the game. Now that's just speculation, because if you guys played Ty's games before, he'll give you a hint, but you have to find out the rest on your own. Another thing is we all also have our own blood type, so that's probably why he was taking my blood sample earlier. I also forgot to mention earlier that Daichi dropped me about 8 kunais in the beginning of the video. I appreciate that, but then he kind of just dipped. And now we're gonna get into some combat. So if you block and you don't have a weapon in your hand and the other person has a weapon, you'll take some chip damage. So basically what that is, you're going to be blocking, but you're still going to be taking damage. It won't be the full damage, it'll just take a little bit. And then if you hold F and left click, you actually dodge every attack that they throw at you. The only thing is that it really drains your stamina. And also when you dodge, you can't get guard breaked because it dodges M2s as well. And then they told me about a really important thing to use in combat is the running kick. So basically what you do is you run in M2 and it'll do a little slide. It does not guard break, but it closes the gap when people are trying to run from you. Now in this game so far, there are 3 main weapon types. The first one is going to be your light weapon, which is your kunai. It's very fast, but it also has low durability, which means your weapon will break faster than other weapons that you use. And then the second type are katanas, which are slower than kunais, but they also have longer range. And they also have more durability than kunais. And then the last weapon you have right here is the heavy weapon. They're really slow, but they do big damage. And then take my word for it, in a way all of these weapons are evenly balanced. It just depends on what kind of playstyle you want to use. And now, in order for me to get into the Sound Village, I had to prove myself first. And what that meant is I had to fight Ty in a 1v1. Now I'm not gonna lie, I got kinda scared when this man just took his robe off out of nowhere. I knew this fight was about to be serious. Especially when it's my first fight in a game like this, where it actually takes skill to beat someone. And I'm also going up against the owner. And don't mind the clicking, I was really trying to beat Ty. Now in all honesty, in the beginning of this fight, I was completely getting bodied. But to be fair, I was still getting used to the controls because this was still my first fight. Up until this point, I've only had explanations on how to fight, so I didn't actually get any combat training in before it. But now as the fight was going on, I was learning how to fight, and it kinda actually felt like I would've stood a chance. Now if there's one thing you guys can take away from this fighting clip, it's that it's different from the other games. Now there was no auto blocking, and you actually had to hit your target. The hitboxes aren't all that perfect yet, but like I said, this game is in early development, and that's why there's testers to test the game. So eventually this combat will be a lot more smooth and the hitboxes will be better. But just by playing this game, I could tell that Ty and the rest of Awoken Studios really took their time and put their effort into this game to make it stand out from all the other games on Roblox. And after all that, he said I passed and made it into the Sound Village. He gave me all the sound gear and some extra pouches, so I had some free inventory. And then I did a little close-up on Vyro with his armband drip, and then just so you guys could see a closer look on the character models. Now these are not completed character models, but it was just so you guys can see a closer look. And now he was showing me how to cook some food, which is also a vital thing in this game. So what you need to cook some food is actually a campfire. You know, campfires are a useful tool, but as you can see in the video, the smoke rises. So when the game is actually out and there's going to be people that are trying to chase you and attack you and all that other stuff, you're going to give away your location if you just put a campfire anywhere. So he actually gave me some salmon to cook, and it's pretty easy. You just click the item you're trying to cook when you're next to the campfire and it'll tell you to cook. And then Ty goes and blows my mind again. On top of all these new features in this game, you can also season your food. I mean, that's just crazy to me. There's games on Roblox where the whole game is based around food and you can't even season your own food. But honestly, it's the little things in games that gets me excited to play them, which Ty really does a good job of. Now I'm not going to go full detail into what seasoning does in the game because I don't want to give all the secrets away. But basically what it does is foods also have cells like we do and other things. So when you combine them with seasonings, it changes the cells that the food has. And what cells do is it changes the components on what it affects when you eat them. So if you add something together, it could lower your thirst or it could raise your thirst. It could also lower your hunger or it could raise your hunger. And then another thing that I thought was really interesting in this game is that the campfires actually burn out by themselves. So it's like there's a timer, just like actual campfires in real life. And like I said before, it's just the little things that make your game interesting. And now on here we got new skill trees. Now every other Naruto game has skill trees for jutsus like Kenjutsu, Taijutsu, Clan Jutsus. But the skill trees on this one are different. You don't actually get jutsus from skill trees. I can't go into full detail on how you get jutsus yet, but maybe later on, Ty will let me go further into detail on that. But the skill trees in this game are actually builds for your character. And there's opposing skill trees, so when you put skill points into one skill tree, it'll cost more to get the other skill in the other skill tree. So you actually have to play out what kind of build you want in the end. So you can't just be using your skill points lightly in this game. And now I didn't get to show the tree jumping animation because honestly in the beginning of the game when I was first testing it out, I was horrible at tree jumping. Now that was my fault because I didn't read exactly what Viral was telling me, so I was doing it wrong the whole time. But then Ty re-explained it to me, and I think I got tree jumping down pretty good. And the one thing I like about this tree jumping, rather than other Naruto games, is you can tree jump from trees really far away. Now there's a limit from how far you can jump, but basically overall I think it's a better system because you actually get to aim where you want to jump. The one thing about tree jumping though is that it actually wastes a lot of stamina in the beginning because I don't have a build. So you're always going to have to be paying attention to all of your bars. And at the end of this video you'll see what I mean about how far you can jump. And it really puts a sort of skill into tree jumping as well, because you gotta know how far your jump will actually go or else you're not gonna make it to the next tree. And if you guys are as hyped for this game as I am and want to see it continue developing, don't forget to support them and join their Patreon. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.